we came up with a few guys that we need to do something, especially about a boy. I'm sure most of our audience will know about this particular boy that was actually slaughtered in Manchester on Moston Lane, at the back of Moston Lane. He happens to be the boy that spent 2-3 weeks when the mom goes home to Africa. He spent some time with me way back about maybe 10 years back. And that touches me. When the boy died, that gave me a very big wake-up call that you need to do something.
Amos Madra.
Olatunji from Manchester Youth Empowerment Club, a very warm welcome to you. I'm excited for this interview. I'm excited to hear about the work that you guys are doing. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you very much for giving us that recognition. That's good. Yeah. So thank you very much. I'm fine.
So tell us firstly about the Manchester Youth Empowerment Club. What's it about? Where did the idea come from? Who are you targeting? And what's going on at the moment?
So yeah, the idea, looking around the Manchester, especially, I'm more passionate about Manchester as well. I've been living in Manchester from 2003, and it's quite unfortunate that I see children born so much around when I came here from Nigeria, and I see them growing up, and over the time, in the last 10 years, I see them growing up to be totally different thing. And this was what inspires me, because it's part of my childhood as well that I lack a bit of guidance when I was growing up. And I realized that that's a massive thing when a guidance in the right time is being lacked at that particular time of their life. They totally get it wrong and there's no way back. And that was the instigative factor that we think, oh guys, we came up with a few guys that we need to do something, especially about a boy. I'm sure most of our audience will know about this particular boy that was actually slaughtered in Manchester on Moston Lane, at the back of Moston Lane. He happens to be the boy that spent 2-3 weeks when the mom goes home to Africa. He spent some time with me way back about maybe 10 years back. And that touches me. When the boy died, that gave me a very big wake-up call that you need to do something. And the only reason why I didn't get closer to the boy that I'm talking about was because change of environment, and I was busy with my career, because the ones that were close to me in the last 5-6 years, I tried to do my best. And with the other guys, I will work together to make difference in their life. And this particular boy has been away from very, very far away from me in the last 10 years. And that gave me a very, very strong wake-up call that you guys need to do something in a bigger scale. And that's what brings about us working in communities, speaking to parents in churches, in mosques, and community centers. Then we decided to set up the charity and get it registered and do it on a bigger scale. The aim is just for us to address the social issues affecting the teenagers from Black ethnic minority in Manchester, especially from African migrants, because I notice it's peculiar to them. And the reason why I think is we work a lot, and we tend to leave our children at home, not understanding what they are doing. And sometimes we think they're going to school, but the school they're going to is a system on its own that parents need to understand so that we can catch up with them. But we tend not to have a clue. Nothing. We have no clue. Most of us, no clue about what they do in school. It's such a very, very pathetic story. When I was asking the parents, what do they understand by a child being on a foundation tier? They said, unfortunately, I don't know what you mean. And that's one of the things, one of the factors brings about this charity as well.
I mean, this is so good. You've just touched on so many different things there that, has been a big struggle for many um, communities, especially African communities who've come into this country, into this city. These stories, unfortunately, you hear time and time and time again. I remember hearing on the news there was sadly a boy in Bury who was murdered, and his mother said, I didn't know my son. I thought I knew him, but I didn't know who he was, the groups that he was running with, the kind of things that they were getting up to. Because obviously, when they get home, it's a completely different person. So, what you're doing is such a good thing because you're targeting not only the young people who need to transform their thinking, be drawn away from those environments, because the environments at the school, as you said, whether they're in that foundation year, the school's not getting any funding, they're struggling, the cost of living, it's a perfect recipe for disaster. Plus, you've got gangs who are attracting these young people, and the parents who are burnt out working. By the time they get home, they've got no energy, they've got no time to sit down, know who the children are. And so everything is just perfect for things to go wrong. And it's good that you've seen that and you've stepped into that position to make the change. It's a big challenge, I can imagine, but it's something that has to be tackled.
That's true. That's true. It's a big challenge, and especially when you give information out, and there's no way people can actually make use of that information. The reason why I'm saying that is I can't stop people going to work and leaving their children at home because they need to survive. And we tend to, in some situations, we tend to act like parents as well, in order to make sure we actualize our vision as well. So it's not about just giving the information out. We do so many things to make sure this vision is being actualized by going extra miles to make sure, especially the teenagers, when they come for mentorship as well, we tend to let them understand the reason behind this. It's not for us to make things difficult for you, because they think some of them think, oh, this is difficult for us. No, maybe for example, when we figure it out, okay, what would you like to do with your life in terms of moving up? There's a person that we identify in referral units. They don't understand why their position being in the referral units, and we use that as an example for the younger ones. I know we had a program about 2-3 months ago. We identify the trend line of being sent out of the class, how that is linked to referral units. And they were quite amazed that, wow. So if you've been sent out of the class, you think, oh, for a boy, it's a normal thing, I'll get back. No, the next stage is isolation. Then it's going to be you're being separated from the school, which is, there's a plan, then you're going to move on to referral units, which is no way back to the normal way, to the normal school. They don't know all this. If they know all this, that you're actually entering a route of no return, then they can think, oh, is this what I want? Then I'm going to sit back and do the right thing. So we tend to give them the information to anticipate, simulate the results of what they're doing now. Not just giving an example, we simulate it using the system that they're inside. And they tend to understand, okay, I think these guys, they are making sense. All right, I don't want to find myself here. But when you tell the parents, they quite understand, they appreciate it, but how do they do it? We need to pay bills. So you understand what I'm saying? So in that kind, I think you immediately I got the interview, I got the invite. No, this is where we can get our voice across so that you can reach more audience, and then people that want to help somebody like yourself, you can get on board, because there's all the ways you can help. There are parents out there that are willing to offer their service in terms of mentoring, because not just coming to speak to them. I think most of them need to see successful Black people, all right? Because I've had a chat with a lot of them, and they tell me, oh, most of our role models, people that we see are drug dealers that makes a lot of money. All the people we see, they sing and they put wood on, and these are the people they follow. And by the time they start singing from secondary school, which is peculiar thing about them, they want to be a singer. I don't know why they all of them want to do that. And they find out they're already on Gang 40. That's the name of their gang in Manchester. I was so amazed when I found out this about 4 years ago that in secondary school, that's the actual name of the gang. One of the so
Yeah,
when you know all this,
there's so much to take from this. There's so much to understand, to dissect, to look into. And I think going back to that roadmap that you were talking of, I saw this on your website, and I think it's a very good illustration of what could happen if you don't nip it in the bud and you deal with the situation early. As you were saying, they could start with being sent out of class, isolation, people referral unit, and then young offenders institution,
yeah, each of
prison,
the institution.
downhill,
Yeah,
and it's just that same old narrative, either prison or death, and
that's
that's
it.
not what we want. These are children with so much potential. They've been gifted with everything that they could wish to achieve. They could be doctors, lawyers. If they want to go into music, they can go into music. They can do absolutely anything. But it's just influencing them in the right way. And as you said, they're influenced by maybe rappers or influenced by their peers. And I think there's more to this because, you know, people talk about, and I'm going to try and make sense with this. People talk about the law of attraction, but there's a bigger law than that. There's what we call the law of vibration. And the law of vibration is probably one of the most strongest, if not. So when these children are in that environment, the music, the atmosphere, the ambience, the vibration gets them to such a point, to a level where they think this is it. This is almost like, what more could I want than this? And because of that kind of emotion, they're drawn to that environment. And I know it's much more than that, but that's a big aspect of it. And that's why the music has a big part to play in terms of the
No,
influence.
in terms of simplicity, you've just nailed it. All right. Music is the only thing that gets them to the highest thing. And they think, what else? I'm fine. I'm making people, I'm seeing a lot of likes on Instagram. People like my music. I think I've arrived. They don't see the other side of the story that, come on, this only lasts for a while. The community you're going into, is it the community you want to be into in the next 15 years? People that have been there, what happened? And that's the simulating aspect of things. We won't say this career is good. No. This career is not good. No. Simulate situation based on the understanding and the fact we're going to give to you. And then think, is this where I want to be? Or I can explore the opportunities. And one thing about our teenagers, you've mentioned it now, they don't know what kind of potential they've got between them, inside of them. They just need to understand that they can do anything in terms of doing great things in life. But most of it is about limitation. They think this is the only thing I do. And that's why we think educational support that we offer is very important. Because in school, when there's a limitation in terms of the results they can get coming out of higher education in terms of secondary school I'm talking about, then the barrier is there. You and I cannot say anything else. This is a very good example. A child has been given foundation tier in maths, foundation tier in science. You don't do foundation in. So if you've done that on 3 science subjects, instead of giving them triple science, you're giving combined, and then it's foundation again. That's a limitation for that person. Regardless of what we say, there are limits at which what that person can do in future. So that's why we come in earlier, all right, to make sure they are well equipped. So if you are from disadvantaged family, if we do assessments, we think, okay, you can't afford it, we'll give you free tuition in maths, which will help your logical reasoning to do well in the other subjects. But yeah, and that's why we iron out that area that is very important, because no matter what you say, when somebody is 19, oh, you have to become a medical doctor. When the person got foundation and combined science and the result is very poor, sorry, you're not making sense to that person. So unless you go back and do GCSE, in which most of them doesn't want to do. So that's why we're just trying to do all this, put things together at early stage. Not that we're ignoring the older ones, there are options for them as well to explore when they're older as well. I'm talking about when they're 18, 19, there are still options because they can do wonderful things.
Absolutely, and it's much easier to mold the mind at a younger age. When they get older, they have to be willing to do it. But at a younger age, you can certainly influence them and influence them in the positive ways. And that's why your work is so important. So tell us, how can the audience connect? What can we expect from you over the next couple of weeks, months? And
Ooh,
maybe
that's a very good question. So what we've just been awarded grants to do a cultural, it's more of a cultural heritage project, but it's not that it's particular about our culture. But what the young ones will get from the project is there are mentorship program in which the program itself, we're going to be making a movie of 25 minutes. This project was funded by Heritage Fund. It's going to be a big project. So the young one will have opportunity to learn how to handle camera, post pre-production of movie. They'll have the chance to dance, cultural dance. There will be someone that will be teaching them how to dance before they appear in the movie. They will have people to teach them how to act, because it's the main actors, the subjects in the movie will be teenagers, not the older ones. We really want to target the teenagers that are born here so that they can know a bit of African culture. So they can understand, oh, this is a very wonderful culture, because I know some of them, when we discuss culture, they find it very interesting because it's nothing they've seen anywhere. Right. So yeah, the opportunity for them to learn how to act, how to handle camera, how to edit movie as well. So while we're doing all the production, we'll be carrying them along. We'll be doing a training and like apprenticeship workshop alongside the production of the movie. So we've got professionals that will be handling all the session. So it's on our website. We're going to start the program. It starts officially now, but we will be doing the Riaza in January. We'll post the dates on our website, and I'll let you know as well. I'll keep you posted with all the information as well. And the actual movie recording production will be in, I think that should be in February. I'll get the date from the guys, and I'll put it across to yourself. So, and then apart from that, we have an ongoing session that we have, like our Saturdays, workshop, mentoring. We meet every Saturday in our center to make sure we keep an eye on what guys are doing. And then the educational support I told you about, we offer support in their math GCSE. We give them a lot of support. Because one thing about GCSE they're doing, it's not the actual teaching. Right? I'm a maths teacher myself. I do the maths. I teach them maths. Other people teach them the science subject. What about it is the resources available, right? We have resources that will help them, that will give them at least 2-3 grades ahead, be ahead of what they're currently predicted, which is why we're so much confident that if you join us, if you connect to us, you won't regret it, 100%.
Wow, incredible. And what we'll do is we'll make sure we'll put all the links below so that the audience can connect with you. And in the description as well, we'll get all the links there so that they can connect with you again. Wow. Olatunji, it's been an absolute joy speaking to you. the great work you're doing with Manchester Youth Empowerment Club. I think there's still much more that we need to continue to work together. We need to, as a community, connect with these young people, help them, because what they're capable of doing is absolutely endless. We've got a prime minister now of Indian heritage. They can too one day shoot to the stars and become the next prime minister, and they can do anything that they set their minds to. And it's because of people like you that set the foundation and plant good seeds that help these young people to be all that they can be. And I just want to celebrate you and thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Amos. You're doing very well. You can only take the right man to find the right person. So you're doing a very good work. That's why we're able to link up.
If you want some amazing inspiration, check out the videos next to me, and I'll see you right there.